Are you ready? They think you can tell us what to do. Out to the masters. Break it down!
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Everyday Geek proudly brings to you a no-holds-barred podcast. And if you're down with that, then we've got two words for you. Everyday Rants!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Everyday Rants podcast. This is number 20. This is Dave, and I can't believe we are 20 into these podcasts. And I want to apologize. I know it's been over a week or so where I got my last podcast out, but been busy with a lot of stuff, so I want to apologize in advance. This one will probably run very, very long. There's a lot of different topics I want to touch upon, but I will let you know the order I'm going to go in, so if you want to kind of like skip through, if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, hopefully you want to listen to the whole thing, but if you just don't want to, or there's certain stuff you want to hear my opinion on, then I'll give you the breakdown now. First, I'm going to go over, I just want to talk about my weekend, the Easter holiday, and everything that went along with that. I'm going to then talk about seeing Batman vs. Superman with Lauren on Friday, on Good Friday. We saw it when it came out. I'm going to recap The Walking Dead, which has been phenomenal. I also want to talk about the American Crime Story show over on FX, The People vs. O.J. Simpson. That's been very good, and I want to touch upon that a little bit. Then I'm going to get into my Monday Night Raw recap from this past Monday, March 28th, as they get ready for their final Raw before WrestleMania this weekend. Speaking of WrestleMania, I want to get into my WrestleMania predictions for WrestleMania 32 this Sunday. And then I want to get into the last of my baseball talk for a while, and this will give you my breakdown for the American League East. I will also give you my playoff teams, both matchups that I think will be for the American League Championship Series and the National League Championship Series. Then I'm going to also give you my predictions on a World Series matchup and who I think will win the World Series. Again, this is all bearing any type of injuries and stuff like that. So let's get into it. First off, like I said, I want to talk about this past weekend. Sunday we had, it was Easter, so we celebrated that. We went over to my sister-in-law's like we always do, but, oh man, it was a rough one just from being a tired aspect. The day before that, the Saturday before Easter, we had some of my family over, and they had bought the kids a bunch of Easter stuff, a bunch of candy, stuff that goes along with Easter stuff. And the little one, Ashley, my little daughter, oh man, she was plowing down the candy all day long. We kept telling her to stop, telling her no, and, she kept getting to it and getting it from other people. So whatever, she was exhausted. It was a long, she stayed up really late Friday night, got up real early on Saturday, so she was exhausted, passes out early Saturday night, but at 3:30 in the morning, she wakes up throwing up chocolate, basically chocolate everywhere, all over her bed, on her pajamas at 3:30 in the morning. My wife had to take her into the bath, give her a bath. I'm cleaning up sheets and getting stuff in the laundry and cleaning up all over her bedposts and on the rug. So that was all types of fun. But now, mind you, we put her back to bed. We try to go back to bed. I'm a bad sleeper. Once a light goes on, or if I hear like a little noise, I'm up. So I was having trouble going back to sleep. But then 4 o'clock in the morning, or maybe about 4:30, so about an hour later, she threw up again. Wasn't as much, but it was still a bunch of chocolate. So we had to do the whole routine all over again. So suffice to say that, Sunday morning, Easter, they both got up super early because they wanted to see what the Easter Bunny left them. And it was just a rough day. My wife and I were both exhausted, tired. We had to lug like a bag of laundry to my sister-in-law's house because, let's face it, I wasn't going to let those soiled sheets sit for longer than a couple hours. So we had to do that. It was just it was fun. It was a good holiday, but oh man, leading up to that was horrendous. And the funny thing is that Friday night, my sister-in-law and future brother-in-law were supposed to take the kids, but some stuff happened, whatever, they couldn't do it. So they were really just going crazy, just being kids, just nuts. So we were painting eggs Friday night. So my wife was like, you know what, I'm going to set up for the eggs. So I said, you know what, I'll take them out in the back in our courtyard. Like I've mentioned before, we live in a co-op here on Long Island. So we have a courtyard, there's grass, everything they could play, there's whatever. So it's about 7 o'clock at night. I said, you know what, I'll take them out for, 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes. Let them just get some of this energy out outside. It was nice out. It wasn't dark yet. Let my wife set up the Easter eggs, get all that stuff, the newspaper out and all the mugs with all the paint, with all the dye and everything. So we get out there. Lauren asks, can I bring my scooter? Sure. We get outside. Now, mind you, I live in a complex too where there's a lot of dogs. And the rule around here is that you're supposed to pick up after your dog if they poop, or you can get like a $250 fine. I used to have a dog here, and I was so anal. I picked up everything. Even if the poor dog had like a stomach issue, and the dog poop might have been a little harder to pick up, I would just grab a whole chunk of grass and just rip that right out of the ground, just get it off the ground. Because, there's a lot of kids here, people walking across the grass. I hate stepping in dog poop. It is the most disgusting, grossest thing ever. But I have a thing where I'm always telling the kids, stay off the grass, mainly for that purpose. I just don't want them stepping in something and they don't realize it and tracking it all over the place in our house. God forbid they touch it, whatever. So I tell them again, do not go on the grass. Now, mind you, I'm outside for less than 5 minutes. Ashley runs on the grass, but runs directly face first into a cast iron bench that our complex has on near the walkway so people can sit. Face first. Boom! Crying. I'm like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. So I pick her up, I console her, I'm like, you alright, relax, blah, blah. I bring her upstairs with Lauren. My wife goes, what happened? I say, she bumped her face, get her some ice, blah, blah, blah. So I'll go back out, I'll take Lauren out. Ash, you just wait up here, help mommy set up for the eggs. Okay. You would think the story gets better. Not 2 minutes later after that, Lauren is on her scooter on the sidewalk in our back, on the walkway, and she must have hit like a divot or like a stone, falls off her scooter, face first into the grass, but scrapes her knee across the cement, rips her leggings, blood everywhere. I swear, I just looked up to the sky, just sighed to myself, and was just thinking, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be fucking kidding me. I tried to take them out of the house to give them some energy, get them some fresh air, get them outside. And within a span of a total of maybe 5 to 7 minutes, both kids got hurt. Both kids were back inside the house. And we knew that this was going to be the start to a very, very long weekend. But you know what? It's stories like this that we tell family, we tell friends, I'm telling you guys, and this is stuff I know when we, we'll have pictures of it. 'Cause I took some pictures of Lauren. We had a bandage up her knee, and of course the kids constantly play with the Band-Aids. Whoa, sorry about that. That was my tablet. And of course, because the kids have to play with our Band-Aids all the time, we had no Band-Aids, like none of those big Band-Aids that come in the big sets. So we had to put like some gauze pads on her and put some of that, medical white tape or whatever that is to hold it there. And again, we told them, well, this is what happens when you play with our Band-Aids. We don't have any. Now you have to walk around with these gauze pads on your knees. But yeah, that was just, we knew this was gonna be the start of a very long weekend, and it was just very long. I could, and then I had Lauren home with me on Monday. She was off from school. She was also off the previous Thursday and Friday, so I was just ready for Tuesday morning, get them to school, get Ash to daycare. It was time. But on Friday, since Lauren was off and it was Good Friday and Batman vs. Superman, the Dawn of Justice movie came out, we went to the first showing at our local movie theater, which was awesome because I kept telling her we got to get there for the first show, and it was 9:15 in the morning. We dropped Ash off at daycare. We shot over to the movie theater, got there. There were maybe a total of 25 of us in the whole theater, which was fantastic. They got new seats, which were like those nice cushiony reclining seats. It was awesome. and we watched Batman vs. Superman. Now, I'm going to be honest, I went into it not expecting much. Lauren and I did a spoiler-free review on our YouTube channel. I also have a spoiler-filled review coming out in the next couple days. That one's a little longer, and we get a little bit more into the story. So if you have seen it, maybe check that out. If you haven't, I wouldn't watch it because we do talk about a lot of spoilers in that one. I went into it with a lot of angst, a lot of not high hopes, because I'm a huge Batman fan, but other than DC, I was never really into that as a kid. I've just started to get into Arrow and The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl. I did read some Superman comics back in the day around the time of his death with Doomsday, the death of Superman, and read for about a year and a half into that until the return of Superman. But I am a huge Batman fan, so I do love Batman, but otherwise I'm a Marvel fanboy. So going into this, I was like, this is not going to be good. It's going to be jumbled up. And I heard the reviews. I was watching some other YouTubers do some reviews the night before on Thursday night, just ripping it apart. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a disaster. But I still wanted to see it because I'm a big thing. I'll listen to reviews, but I will never take those reviews and just go, oh, I'm not going to see that because everybody said it's bad. No way. I'm going to go see it and be the judge myself. So I was like, you know what? Gives Lauren and I something to do. We get out of the house. She wanted to see it also because she wanted to see Wonder Woman, which was awesome. So we head over there. We checked it out. I'm going to be honest. I really did enjoy it. I wasn't going in expecting an Academy Award-winning movie, granted. But I really did like it. I was very weary of Ben Affleck playing Batman and Bruce Wayne. I thought he did a fantastic job. Is he my favorite Batman? It's too soon to tell. I did like Christian Bale as Batman, but I also liked, I thought Michael Keaton was a good Batman. Kilmer and Clooney, I really care less about. And Adam West, I don't, whatever. That was just the spoof, campy Batman. But, I thought Jesse Eisenberg was good. Amy Adams as Lois Lane, I still don't understand, but she's a good actress. Henry Cavill as Superman was good, just like he was in Man of Steel. I thought it was a good movie. I really did enjoy it. I know a movie is good to me when after it, I realized that I could sit there for another hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and watch more. And it's the same way I felt after I watched Star Wars The Force Awakens, and it's the same way I feel after both Avenger movies and most Marvel movies, except for the crappy Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2 that they did. Those I couldn't wait for those to be over. But I could have sat through some more. I really am intrigued by what they're doing with the Justice League coming. I really did like it. I know a lot of critics didn't, but it is what it is. It's people's opinions. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Lauren loved it. She loved Wonder Woman. She thinks she's so cool. And it is cool to see that they're getting more of these these powerful female roles out there for the young girls, It's good for that. On the Marvel side of the Avengers, we got the Black Widow. We got Scarlet Witch now. I'm sure they'll have more coming, hopefully. Excuse me, drinking some water. My mouth is getting very dry. But, yeah, it was good. I liked it. I say, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Be your own judge. Be your own critic. But maybe go check it out because you get to get that experience in a big screen with the loud sound and the other people in the audience. But the great thing about it was when we left, the movie theater we were at was packed. Tons of mothers in there with their kid. It was just packed. And I looked at Lauren and I said, this is why I wanted to get here for the first showing. Because we literally had like maybe 25 people in the audience. I was sitting in a row all by ourselves. It was great. When we left, it was packed. But I liked it. I thought Batman vs. Superman was very entertaining. Yes, okay, the writing was so-so. It was kind of jumped all over the place at some points, but it's a comic book movie. You read comics, they jump all over the place. Who cares? Just go into it, have fun. I'm not going in there watching Citizen Kane or watching American Beauty, expecting some, great storytelling, Academy Award-winning thing. I want something that's going to entertain me, give me some comic book awesomeness, some awesome fights, some funny one-liners, and just make it awesome. And I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to play catch up with Marvel, and I get it. They want to get the Justice League out there. They want to compete with the Avengers and Marvel, and that's fine. That's what they want to do, and I think they did it okay. Yeah, they jumbled up a lot into this movie, but to me, it all made sense. It all fit, I felt, kind of perfectly. They did what they had to do. But I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. Then we came to Sunday night, and The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, we're getting ready for the finale, which is this Sunday night, which is tough, because I'm going to miss the finale live. I'm going to have to watch it the following night on Monday, because, of course, it's WrestleMania 32 on Sunday, and I got to watch my WrestleMania 32, so, you know, we'll have a DVR, and we'll watch The Walking Dead and Talking Dead after that, but it's going to be a special 90-minute finale, which means 90 minutes of just pure awesomeness and edge of your seat entertainment. But this past episode was just fantastic, and if you haven't seen it yet, I mean, we're almost a week in, so there is going to be spoilers, so I'm sorry, but wow, what an episode. What an episode. You had Carol on the run, gets confronted on the road by these douchebags who are I believe they're some of Negan's guys, the Saviors. She takes care of them. It was fantastic. You had Rick and Morgan teaming up again to find Carol and having their confrontation, kind of Rick being the, you know, I just don't trust anybody, you know, that's the way it is, and Morgan with the, you know, everybody's here for a reason, you know, you shouldn't kill people, blah blah blah. They kind of go their own ways at the end of that episode, and then you had Daryl running out because he wanted to go avenge the death of Denise and find Dwight, so he leaves, and then following him is Glenn and Michonne, and was that it? I thought there was one more. Maybe it was just those three. But I kept saying the whole time, I just kept saying, Glenn, do not leave. Glenn, just stay. Because, you know, we all know what happens in the comics if you read the comics when Negan appears. If you don't, huge spoiler coming up right now, so please pass this over, shut it off, pause it, skip it. Huge spoiler, in the comics, Negan, upon his first appearance, he bashes in Glenn's head with Lucille, which is his baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire, which always reminds me of Mick Foley and Cactus Jack in the WWF back in the day. But he kills Glenn. That sets the stage for Negan in the comics. Now, I've had a lot of different theories out there. I know my buddy Matt over at The Word of Yaga, he's got a podcast also here on SoundCloud, Yaga Rambles. Go check him out. He talks some of The Walking Dead as well. We've been, you know, going back and forth with some theories. I've said I thought some people that could come at the end of Lucille could be Maggie. There've been rumors about Daryl. People have been saying Carol now. Abraham was a maybe a couple weeks ago, but I don't think Abraham anymore. I just don't. They haven't focused on him that much anymore. But now, you know, at the end of last week's episode, they captured Glenn and Michonne, and then you thought Daryl was going to save them again, but then Daryl gets caught at the end by Dwight and a couple other of the Saviors, and they end the episode with Daryl turning around and Dwight with a gun pointing towards him. They kind of pan out as you hear a gunshot and blood splatter, and then you hear Dwight say something like, he says like, "You'll be fine," or "You'll be all right," something like that. So you know, you're guessing Daryl gets shot. He's probably not dead. Absolutely not dead. They probably shoot him in the shoulder or something just to immobilize him, make him not a threat anymore. But now you're wondering, okay, so what I'm thinking is going to happen is Rick's going to get back to Alexandria, find out that Glenn, Michonne, and Daryl have not come back yet. Now, we all know Rick is now with Michonne, so he's going to have an emotional tie there. Glenn is his boy, and Daryl are his boys from the beginning. And that makes up most of Rick's hardcore group. You know, Daryl, Michonne, and Glenn are some of his right-hand people. So I'm imagining that Rick will get some type of group together to go find them. Hopefully he doesn't go out on his own, but I'm assuming he'll grab maybe Abraham, or maybe leave Abraham behind. I don't. He'll grab another person or two, and they're gonna go out looking for them, and then that's when the confrontation is gonna happen with Negan meeting up with Rick's group, and they will kill one of them. Now, I know they're not going to kill Rick. Could they? Absolutely. Will they? No, because Rick is still a big part of the comics, and Rick is still a big part of the show. That leaves Michonne, Glenn, Daryl, and whoever else he might take with him. Now, comic book wise, and you would think Glenn is the obvious choice. That would be the way to go, because that would fulfill the comic book legend of what happens in the Walking Dead realm world. But could it be Daryl? Absolutely. Could it be Michonne? That would be crazy, because that's just another person that Rick had feelings for or had a relationship with that has died. We had Lori. We had, I forget her name, but the blonde-haired lady with the two girls that died at the beginning of when they came back from the little break, when they got eaten by the zombies, her and her two kids. Or her, the one little kid, and the other one got Michonne's knife. So, I don't know where they're going to go. If I had to say right now, I even thought Maggie at one point. But I don't think they're going to let Maggie go out of the complex. I'm going to go... I think they're going to keep it the same. I think they're going to go with Glenn. I think it'll be Glenn's time. You wonder what's going on with Maggie, too, because she started having an attack. She fell to the ground in pain, holding her stomach. And someone was with her. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank and why I can't remember who was with her. But anyway... I said to my wife, I said, oh my God, can you imagine if, like, the baby, God forbid, died in her stomach and it's, like, a zombie now? That's some crazy shit right there. And the zombie comes, like, gnawing out, like, kills her and comes gnawing out, kind of like an alien. That'd be some crazy sick shit. But, yeah, The Walking Dead has been so phenomenal this season. I've loved every season. I know some people have their favorites. Some people don't like season 2 with the whole farm and everything. I've loved every season of The Walking Dead, and this season has just been by far so intense, so great. The writing's been phenomenal. I cannot wait for Negan's appearance. I know it's going to end badly for somebody in this finale, but I cannot wait to see Negan and Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing that role. I was kind of hoping for John Hamm, but Dean Morgan should be good as well. But The Walking Dead has been great. The finale is going to be awesome. Can't wait. And then another series I've been watching, and I just got all caught up to date on it, is the American Crime Story over on FX. It's The People vs. O.J. Simpson, based on the O.J. Simpson trial back in 94, 95. And it's funny looking at that now, being 22 plus years later. You know, when that whole case happened, I was 14, 15 years old, so I was really young, in high school, didn't really know much of what was going on. You know, I knew he had supposedly killed, you know, his wife and her friend, but I didn't know much about it. You know, whatever, I was 14, 15. OJ was the last thing on my mind as a kid, and I think we all know what I'm talking about, you know. But anyway, watching it now, 22 years later, now at, you know, 35, 36, it is it's interesting, man, to see like how that case was so against OJ and how basically, literally, he got away with murder. And it's funny too, watching it now and not realizing even back then such a divide in the country with race issues and racism and you know, blacks versus whites, and you know, you really look at it today and not much has changed 22 years later. Actually, I think it's probably gotten worse than it was back in the mid-90s. And that sucks. It's just, it's crazy to look at that and go, wow, we have not gotten any better as a country towards the whole race war and the race divide, or whatever you want to call it. It's sad that, 22 years later, it's gotten worse, not better. And you would think it would have gotten a lot better for everybody involved, especially after 2008 when President Obama got elected to the office. But no, it hasn't, and it sucks. And it's tough, bringing up kids in this world, and having them, because, I don't shield them from stuff. We have the news on sometimes in the house. They hear stuff. We have the news on when, bombing's going. What am I going to do? These kids are going to find out anyway. Lauren's hearing stuff about school anyway, hearing this stuff. Coming home asking us, oh, what happened? What's it? I'm not going to say, oh, no, don't worry. I'm not going to baby them. No. Ashley doesn't know. I'm not talking about Ashley. I'm talking about Lauren. She's almost 8. She sees what's going on. She hears it. She could read now. All she has to do is look at a newspaper. And it sucks. And having to explain to kids these days with the bombings and the killings and the protests and these people talking about this color and this color talking about this color. It's a sad damn day, man. It's just so annoying. And the OJ series really shows you that it hasn't changed. It's gotten worse, I feel. And but I mean, it's a great series because it was a real time. I remember that time, and it was a big deal. The O.J. Simpson trial was a big deal. And the fact that he got off after watching this and seeing everything, now that I'm wiser and older, it's amazing that he got away with it. But it is kind of funny how he is, though, in prison anyway. He ended up in prison for life as it is. You would think you get away with something like that. Just go down to Florida, stay in your house, and play golf every day. Kiss the ground you were given back and be thankful. No, that idiot goes out and gets himself in trouble again trying to rip off or holding somebody up with a gun or something like that and is in prison anyway. I mean, Jesus. What? Anyway. But yeah, if you haven't checked that out, go check that out. It's on FX. It's American Crime Story. It's based on the 90s OJ trial, and it's really interesting. Very, very interesting. I am a fan of that. I liked it. I like it. It's not over yet. Obviously, we know how it ends, but it is not over yet. It's still going on. So I can't wait to see where the rest of that series. But yeah, so let's get into my WWE RAW recap for this past Monday night. It was March 28th. It was held at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And this was the last Raw before WrestleMania 32. So this was the setup for people watching it to go, you know what? If you're not a member of the WWE Network yet, you watch this Raw, and at the end of it, they want you to say, this WrestleMania looks like it's going to be awesome. I'm going to go sign up to the WWE Network. I'm going to get it for free the first month, and then I'm going to continue to pay $9.99 a month. Did Raw live up to it? No, not really. It wasn't a good Raw. It hasn't been a good 6 weeks since the Fastlane pay-per-view leading up to this WrestleMania. The Raws have been pretty weak. It hasn't been a good build. The matches themselves are kind of all over the place. You don't understand a lot of them. And I'm going to get into that also with my WrestleMania prediction video and talk here with you guys. So basically, let's get into Raw. Now, again, like I said, I watch Raw the next day on Hulu, so I get a condensed version of it. So I don't see all the matches. I guess they cut the ones that aren't that important, the important stuff out of it. They leave the meat of it in there. So some stuff, if you never hear me touch on it, it's because I might not have known it was on Raw, or I just bypassed it because it wasn't on my Hulu catch-up and I didn't feel like looking into it. But anyway, this is the Raw recap. March 28th, Brooklyn, New York. They start off, The Undertaker comes out. Okay, awesome. Always good to see The Undertaker. He comes out. He starts talking. He says that this will not be his last WrestleMania. So he's leaving the door open for next year. Let's see what happens. I always was hoping to see that Undertaker versus Sting WrestleMania match, but that's most likely not going to happen because I think Sting is going to announce his retirement at the WWE Hall of Fame induction that he gets. And that's because mainly he got injured during the Seth Rollins match he had. And, I guess he's realizing that he's older and he's ready to retire. But I really would have liked to have seen that Undertaker-Sting match at WrestleMania. That would have been pretty damn cool. Never say never. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but, it doesn't look that way. So he comes out. Then Shane comes out. Here comes the money. Yeah, you hear that? He comes out. Crowd pops. The crowd actually was so into this. They were into this more than they are their own Brooklyn Nets and New York Islanders. So that was a good sign. So they come out. They have a really good one-on-one. Again, though, I still don't understand why these two are wrestling. I don't understand it. Storyline-wise, it doesn't make sense. Why did Undertaker say, okay, I'll fight Shane for no apparent reason? Just because Vince McMahon picked him? I don't get it. What is it? What's in it for the Undertaker to wrestle Shane McMahon? I don't know. And Shane McMahon, they built it up that he wants control of Raw, making you think that maybe they're going to do a split squad because they have so many wrestlers on the roster. Maybe they're going to do that split again and try to enhance and advance some of the wrestlers they have, give them more airtime. But does anybody think that Shane's going to beat the Undertaker? That's the problem. It's a very odd match. It's going to be in the Hell in the Cell, which should be really entertaining. Because one thing we know from Shane McMahon, and something I'm going to talk about that he did later in this little exchange, he will go balls to the wall, baby. He will put his body on the line. Always has, always will. And that's why I think a lot of people do like and respect Shane McMahon. Because when he got in there, he always did it perfectly. So they had some really good exchanges, and they start fighting. Undertaker starts beating the crap out of Shane outside the ring. Shane gets back at him, hits him with the TV monitor, gets him up on the table, and then he goes up for this awesome, fantastic, holy shit moment. He climbs to the top turnbuckle. Undertaker's laying out over the announce table, and he hits an elbow drop. But I mean, his elbow does hit the Undertaker. You see it plain as day. But I mean, Shane took most of that bump. He just smacked the table, took most of that bump, and that was just incredible. I mean, this is a guy that is, older now. He's not in his 20s anymore. I mean, he leaped from the top turnbuckle, and his whole body is the reason why that table broke. Bashed right through it. So it just makes you see things to come at WrestleMania. Hell in the Cell should be pretty damn intense. Should be intense. So we get through that, and then we come back, and it's Zack Ryder versus Chris Jericho. So I'm like, okay, I like Zack Ryder. I've said it. I'm a big Zack Ryder fan, especially being a kid of Long Island, especially Merrick, Long Island, where he grew up. So I'm a big Zack Ryder fan. But I'm like, okay, so he's not going to go over Chris Jericho, but that's cool. He's still wrestling Jericho on Raw. Match starts. Styles comes out, starts his taunting of Jericho. So Ryder and Jericho going back and forth. Styles starts getting involved and starts a Y2 Jackass chant. That distracts Jericho enough where Ryder gets the win, which I thought was awesome. Granted, he was not in the six-man tag team match later on that night that involved 6 of the 7 participants in the Intercontinental ladder match at WrestleMania. But let's not skip over this. Zack Ryder pinned Chris Jericho on Monday Night Raw, the Raw before WrestleMania 32. That's big. No matter how he got it, Zack Ryder pinned Chris Jericho. The fact that I just said that is fascinating. Zack Ryder pinned Chris Jericho the Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania 32, when Zack Ryder will be wrestling in the Intercontinental title match in a ladder match at WrestleMania. That's impressive. So AJ and Y2J after that have an exchange of words, and Jericho accepts Styles' challenge at WrestleMania and says he will wrestle him. It'll be like his 12th time or whatever, and he's like, and it'll be your first, rookie. I mean, the guy's been around forever, but whatever. So that's cool. I can't wait to see Styles and Jericho. Hopefully, I was hoping maybe they give like a cool stipulation, like a 30-minute or like a 60-minute Iron Man match and let them really get it. That'd be awesome. But, I mean, they could add that. Who knows? It's Thursday morning, so Thursday night, SmackDown is still coming, so they could always make changes. Then we saw Charlotte come out and face Becky Lynch. Basic match. Sasha Banks was on the table talking, commentary. Ric Flair got involved, distracted Lynch. Charlotte gets the win. Blah, blah, blah. They're getting ready for their triple threat Divas Championship match at WrestleMania. So that was status quo. It was what it was, just to get them, in the picture. Then we get Triple H comes out, and he starts rambling on about how he was the most successful superstar. I don't understand. I understand that he's playing a character and he's portraying himself as like he was this great superstar, but he was never The Rock. He was never Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was never The Undertaker. Triple H was a very good wrestler, but he was never really that over with the WWE Universe. He was in DX in the beginning. That was Shawn Michaels. Even after that, it was more of like the New Age Outlaws and X-Pac. Triple H was always good, but let's not face the facts that he's successful because he's banging and married the daughter of the owner of the WWE. Whatever. Reigns comes out. He gets booed out of the building. It's horrendous. I mean, they are less than a week from WrestleMania, and their face, quote unquote face, going up against a champion who's supposed to be heel. Their face, Roman Reigns, is continuously getting booed out of the building. This was horrendous, and it's not going to be a pretty sight at WrestleMania. Then we get the New Day. The New Day comes out. They are so over, and if you see, you can't see on the podcast, I'm taping this also for the YouTube channel. I am wearing my New Day shirt, which is awesome. But New Day comes out. They are so over. They are probably one of the most over things in the WWE right now. They come out, they cut their little promo, and it goes, League of Nations comes out, and it's going to be Kofi against Alberto Del Rio. Good match. It was actually a very good match. Kofi wins, which was awesome. Then Jonathan Coachman from ESPN, who used to be a WWE announcer and stuff, comes out and says that ESPN will be covering some of WrestleMania. Who cares? SportsCenter and ESPN is garbage anyway. But he comes out, he does a little dance with the New Day. That was pretty cool. Whatever. Who cares? Then they show Reigns in the back, and my God, the Boo Birds were out again, and he gets booed right out of the building once again. Just booed like crazy. Bubba Ray Dudley comes out, confronts him, kind of goats him into following him. He does, and then he gets jumped by Devon and Triple H. And then Triple H beats him up. Who cares? Whatever. It's the second segment of just pure garbage that no one cares about. And the fact that this match, Triple H and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, could possibly be the main event, and probably will be the main event, is I hope they have an ending planned. Something different, someone else. Maybe Seth Rollins returns. I don't know, but holy mackerel, this is going to be a horrible match. Just horrible. Then we get more talking. Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out. Heyman's great as always on the mic. He builds up the match. Then out of nowhere, Dean comes out with a wagon. He starts loading it up with a bunch of bunch of different weapons and stuff to use in their street match at WrestleMania. It was an okay spot. It was funny, but then realistically, you think they're in New York. WrestleMania's in Texas. He's leaving with this wagon full of stuff. He's not getting that on the airplane. So, is he walking to Texas? Anyway, then we get the six-man tag team match of 6 of the 7 participants that are going to be in the Intercontinental title ladder match at WrestleMania. We have Kevin Owens, Stardust, and Miz versus Dolph Ziggler, Sin Cara, and Sami Zayn. The Zayn team of Ziggler and Sin Cara, they win. It was weird. The match was okay. It wasn't that bad, but the audience was not into it. In the middle of the match, you had a "This is Booty" chant. So you had "This is Booty. This is Booty." which was funny, shows you how over the New Day is. Because this is kind of like how over like someone like Steve Austin back in the day was when he started his what chant, and it's still going on today. Kind of like Daniel Bryan, when everybody asks a question that has something to do with yes, or they want to say yes, it's yes, yes, no matter if Daniel Bryan is even involved in it. Now New Day's getting into that territory. So, it's a new day. Yes, it is. So they started This Is Booty chant, which was out of nowhere and kind of funny. I could swear I heard a CM Punk chant. There was also a New Day Rocks chant. And Zayn got the pin. You know, Sami Zayn got the pin. He wins it. But the fascinating thing was that they have 6 superstars. The Intercontinental Champion Owens, Stardust and Miz. Unfortunately, no one cares. Same with Sin Cara. Ziggler's kind of lost. Sami Zayn is kind of cool to see because he's back, he's from NXT and it looks like he's finally got his push and he's going to be on the WWE roster. But the fact that there was a This Is Booty chant, a New Day Rocks chant, and I could swear I heard a CM Punk chant, that's very alarming for the WWE. For 6 of your participants that are going to be in your Intercontinental title match. Then we get the third segment of Stephanie McMahon and Triple H again. And at this point, I was ready to fucking hang myself. Because the more and more they come out and talk, the more and more I just want to shut it off. But, I stick it through. So we get, it comes out, blah, blah, blah. Steph's talking about how they're rich, they're powerful. I'm sitting there going, well, you're only rich because, you came out of your dad's sack. So that's why you're rich. And the only reason Triple H is rich and powerful is because he's banging the daughter that came out of the sack of Vince McMahon and emptied his sack. So, it's just like a bunch of rich, powerful people bragging about their money and their power, but neither one of them did anything to build that off. If anyone has the right to brag, it'd be Vince McMahon, because he did take the WWF from his father and turn it into the world wrestling entertainment that we have now, a global phenomenon, and kind of changed the whole world of sports entertainment. So he has reason to gloat. You two, not so much. But I get it. It's their characters. Whatever. Who cares? Reigns comes out. The boos got even louder this time. Louder when he came out. It is not good. WrestleMania 32. This championship match is going to be. I'm very interested to see what happens. Very interested. The only cool thing that came out of this was a cool spot where a bunch of bad guys came out to help Triple H, and some good guys came out to help Reigns. But all the bad guys were kind of outside, all the heels. And Reigns ran and did kind of like an Usos jump over the top rope and landed on them. That was kind of cool because it was something different that you don't really see from him on an everyday basis. That was cool, but otherwise it was just shit. That's how the show ended. A very weak show going into WrestleMania 32. If any of the audience that was in Brooklyn is any indication of what we should expect in Texas at WrestleMania 32, it's going to be bad news. You could basically look at it that the only person that will be over, the only group that will be over, will be most definitely the New Day, Shane McMahon, The Undertaker, and of course Brock and Dean. That's it. It doesn't look like the audience is interested in anybody else, and that's not a good thing for the WWE. So that was the recap of Monday Night Raw. Now let's get into my WrestleMania predictions for WrestleMania 32. These are going to be my predictions. I'm just going to read you off the matches, tell you what I think, and we'll go from there. So let's start first. There's going to be the 3rd annual Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I really don't care. I think these are stupid. I think they missed a chance last year. I still think to this day that they should have allowed Mizdow to win it to enhance his character, but they didn't. And look where Damian Sandow is now. I'm going to go with, I'll just say Mark Henry. They're going to have Mark Henry win because he's older, he's a veteran, he's probably going to retire. I'll let him have one more hoorah as his way out the door. I'm going to go Mark Henry. Then let's get into matches that most likely won't be on the actual pay-per-view, might be on the kickoff show, but who knows? WWF changes that up all the time. I'm going to go first with the Usos and versus the Dudley Boys. Now it is WrestleMania, so we know that a lot of times the faces go over at WrestleMania. I'm going to go with... I think they're going to give it to the Usos. I think the Usos will beat the Dudley Boys. Do I want the Dudley Boys to lose? No, I'd rather see the Dudley Boys win because I hate the Usos. But I think they're going to give it to the Usos. So that's my prediction. I'm not going to get into a lot of these matches that don't really mean anything. Like, who cares? The next one's going to be the Total Divas versus BAD and Blonde, which is going to be the Total Divas team is Eva Marie, Alicia Fox, Natalia, Paige, and Brie Bella. And then Team Bad and Blonde is going to be Lana, Summer Rae, Naomi, Tamina, and Emma. So, again, a match I don't care about. I know Lauren will like that because she loves to go wrestling. I'm going to go, let's say they're going to give it to the good guys. They're going to give it to Brie and them. I just see that happening. It is what it is. Who cares? Next up, I'm going to go with the United States Championship match with the Kalisto versus Ryback. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't watch any of SmackDown, so I don't know the whole build-up to this. I don't understand why these two are fighting. But I hope that Ryback does not win. I do not like Ryback. I think he's overrated. So I'm going to go, I hope they keep the title with Kalisto. I don't think they will, but I'm going to go Kalisto. Please hold on to that title. And I like to see them get him involved with some other superstars that are fast like him, like an Adrian Neville. I know he's injured, but Adrian Neville or some guys from NXT or even him and AJ Styles I think would light it up. But I'm hoping they keep it with Kalisto. That's my prediction on that one. Let's get into the next one. Let's go with the League of Nations versus the New Day for the WWE Tag Team titles. Oh, man. I want New Day to win. I think everybody wants New Day to win. I don't think they're going to give it to the League of Nations. First off, Bad News Barrett is gone. Wade Barrett is gone. So, the League of Nations is going to be down to 3 soon. I really think they should just disband the League of Nations. It's a joke. No one cares. They screwed up Rusev as it is. Sheamus is now a joke. Alberto Del Rio is Alberto Del Rio. And Barrett's gone. No way they take the titles off the New Day. I'm sure the New Day, they're getting ready. I think they're going to build the New Day up with these titles. And what I would do is build them up with the titles as long as you can. And have Enzo and Cass come up. And that would be the future of the WWE Tag Team division. Those two right there feuding through the summer. That'd be awesome. Next up, let's go with Styles and Jericho. I think this will be a really good match. These two work very well, and I hope they give them a lot of time because as the match gets longer, Styles and Jericho get better and better. I'm going to go with Styles. I hope they give Styles the win, let him get his WrestleMania win. If they let Fandango beat Jericho a couple years ago, let AJ Styles beat him. That's just how it has to be. If Fandango can beat him, Styles has got to beat him. So, we'll see. But that should be a good match. I'm actually very excited for that match. I can't wait to see that. Let's get into the Intercontinental Ladder match for the title. It's going to be the champion Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Zack Ryder, Stardust, Dolph Ziggler, The Miz, Sin Cara, and I think I said it right, and Sami Zayn. Okay, now, this one's a tough one, because, I'll be honest, would I like to see Ryder win the Intercontinental title? Absolutely. It's not going to happen. I would. That'd be awesome if Ryder won. But I'm going to go. Oh man, will they give it to Zayn? It's a tough one. I can tell you who I'm pretty sure is not going to win. It's not going to be The Miz. It's not going to be Sin Cara. It's not going to be Stardust. The only reason why I'm saying it's not going to be Ryder is because Ryder did just get a big win over Jericho. So, he's coming off a big win. That's not going to be Ryder, unfortunately. I'm going to say they're going to keep it with Owens. Maybe they keep the title with Owens, and they build up that Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn feud. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say they keep the title with Owens. Owens retains the title. Yeah. Let's get into the Divas title match. It's going to be Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks in a triple threat match for the Divas title. There are a lot of rumors that they want to, they're going to announce after WrestleMania, the Monday night, that they're getting rid of the Divas title. It's going to be a women's title. They want to kind of drop that Divas tag. I don't know why, but they want to. So if they're going to do that, I think they will change the title, and they'll have someone, they'll have the new champion come out and say that they're not a diva, they're a champ, they're a women's champion, they don't want to be a diva, whatever. So I'm going to go with they're going to give the belt to Banks. I think Sasha Banks is walking into there and walking out the champion, and Sasha will bring in a new era of women's wrestling, and they could have her, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, maybe even bring up. I would love to see them bring up Bayley and get her into the mix as well. But I think Banks is leaving with the title. That's my prediction. So let's go with that. Next up, let's go into the no holds barred street fight. It's gonna be Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose, and I'm gonna go. It's tough. I want to say Brock, but I have a feeling someone's gonna come in and help, beat down Brock. Maybe the Wyatt family. God. Dean or Brock? Dean or Brock? I'm going to go Dean. Dean Ambrose. Next up, we have the Hell in the Cell match. Shane versus Taker. Again, I don't understand what they're doing. Can Shane beat Taker? I don't know. And if Taker wins, does that mean Shane's gone for good and then they don't do this brand split? So I'm kind of torn on this. If I have to give a prediction, I'm going to go somehow. I think Shane's going to win. Something's going to happen. Somehow Undertaker's going to get screwed, and I think Shane's going to win. I'm going to call it. Shane's going to. They don't have a record anymore to keep intact for the Undertaker. They don't have to worry about him losing. Going 21 and whatever, or 0 and whatever. So I think they could have Shane win, and I think they will. I think something big will happen to cost Undertaker the match. Maybe that'll be the moment we get Sting. Maybe Sting won't retire. Maybe he'll come out and distract Undertaker or whatever and cost him the match against Shane to set up Sting versus Undertaker for next WrestleMania. That'd be pretty cool. So we'll see. And then we go to the main event for the world title. Triple H versus Roman Reigns. I think Reigns will be booed out of the building. I think it's going to be the loudest boos you'll ever hear. Triple H will get a huge face pop. I'm going to predict. I'm going to say I don't know if anybody's going to come out and help anybody. Let's just say no one does. Oh, God, can they really give the title back to Reigns and make him a 3-time WWE champion? They could. I hope not. I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with them keeping the title on Triple H. Triple H, I think, will retain the World Wrestling Federation. Oh, my God, I'm going old school. I think Triple H will retain the WWE title. I can't see them giving it to Reigns and allowing him to be booed at the end of WrestleMania. Absolutely not. I can't see that happening. So Triple H, I think, will hold the title. Will retain the title, I mean. So those are my predictions for WrestleMania 32. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting show. I got to be honest. I don't know what they're doing. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. It's probably one of the weakest WrestleMania builds and cards. But we'll see. It's still WrestleMania. It should be fun to watch, and we'll see what they do. I have no clue. All right, now let's get into this. I'm sorry again, guys. I know this is running. I know this podcast is running very late, but let's get into now my Major League Baseball American League East preview first. So for the American League East, we have my team, the New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Baltimore Orioles, and the Toronto Blue Jays. So we'll start from fifth to first. Coming in fifth in that division this year, I think it's going to be the Baltimore Orioles. I don't think the Orioles they don't really have the pitching. They haven't done anything to solidify that rotation. Yes, they have some hitting, but as we all know, hitting only gets you so far. You do need pitching as well. I don't think they address those issues. So I'm going to go Baltimore Orioles coming in fifth. Coming in fourth, I'm going to go... I know a lot of people think they're going to be higher, but I'm going to go with the Rays. I think the Rays are coming in fourth. Again, they have good pitching, but their hitting is kind of sporadic. Their hitting is not that great. Evan Longoria is getting older. He's not the player that he used to be years ago. And the pitching is good, but, it's not great. It's very good, but not great. I don't see them getting past that hump. So I think they're going to come in fourth. I think the Rays are coming in fourth. That's my pick on that one. Coming in third, and I know I'm probably going to get some shit for this and some heat, but I'm going to the Toronto Blue Jays. And hear me out on why I'm saying this. I did not like Toronto's pitching last year until they got David Price, and David Price turned them around and made them even better. But David Price is not there anymore. He's actually on the rival Boston Red Sox now. And Toronto, yes, they have the hitting. They have the hitting galore. But as we know, you can't usually bat yourself to the playoffs or playoffs you can, but to a championship, no. And I think their pitching is going to be horrendous. I'm not a Dickey fan. I don't like Burley and Strowman. But I just don't think they have the pitching, and I don't think Toronto's gonna be able to do what they did last year. So I'm gonna go with Toronto coming in third. Coming in second, I'm going with the New York Yankees. Again, like I've said in the past predictions, this is all based on if everybody is not injured. I'm not including injuries, but I will for the Yankees include age, and that's something that I do worry with them in the field and pitching. Now, if Luis Severino can be as good as he was last year, and if Tanaka could be somewhat like Tanaka, and with Pineda being Pineda, hopefully he'll be better than last year. But Pineda, when he's on, he is very good. Nova's good, and that bullpen, even though they got a little bit of a hit now with Miller, and they got the suspension of Chapman, when the whole group, and the good thing about Miller is that I believe it's not his pitching hand, so that's a good thing. But when that group of that three are together, that is an incredible three to have in the bullpen. You have Betances, Miller, and then Chapman. That is a 1, 2, 3. Thank you, ma'am. Shut down, out. So really, how the Yankees look at it is that they only really need their starting pitchers to get them through 5. And then let the bullpen worry about, get them through 6, I'm sorry. Then let the bullpen worry about 7, 8, 9. So it's a great format. It's kind of what the Royals have done the last couple of years. But I think this 3, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Yankee fan, I think this 3 is more powerful than what the Royals had. I mean, you have Betances, Miller, and Chapman, all great pitchers, speed. They have the fastball is fantastic. And you really have 3 closers playing setup roles and a closer role. So I think the Yankees are going to come in second. I think the hitting will still be there. The thing that sucks is with Teixeira being older and Greg Bird now being out for the year with injury. You hope that Teixeira can hold in there for the year and hold it through because, we don't have Bird now to back him up. But I think they're going to do good. I think that the hitting will come around. You still got A-Rod. You still got Headley. You still got Beltran, Ellsbury, Gardner. You have Castro now at second. You got Didi, who had a great second half last year for the Yankees. You got McCann behind the plate. They have a lot of good pieces, and I think they can definitely come in second. Now, the team I think will come in first, and I hate saying this, is the Boston Red Sox. Now, they could falter too, but I don't think they, with adding David Price to the starting rotation and then having Kimbrel as your closer, that's a great move. Their hitting should be better. This is going to be David Ortiz's last year. He will be retiring, so I think that they're going to play hard for Ortiz, for the Red Sox fans. They don't want to come in last again. They've had a bad couple years after winning the World Series a couple years ago. So I think the Red Sox are coming in hot and heavy and really have something to prove in the American League East. And that's how I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be the Red Sox, Yankees, Toronto, Rays, and Orioles. Those are my predictions. Again, they're just my predictions. You could agree, you could disagree, but, that's just what I think. Now let's get into real quick playoffs teams. I'll give you the teams in the American League first that I think will make the playoffs. So since I'll give you my division winners. So obviously in the East, I said the Red Sox. The Central, I've said the Kansas City Royals. And in the West, I went with the Houston Astros. My wild card, I think it's going to be Texas and the Yankees. Okay, let's get into the National League now. National League East, I said the Mets. Central, I said the Cubs. West, I said the Giants. I'm going to go with the wild cards 1 and 2. I'm going to go with the Nationals and the Dodgers in that order, just like in the East. Now, I don't know how all that will play out. If it was Texas against the Yankees in a wild card game, let's just say Bear and everything, their teams are exactly how they are now, no injuries, no whatever, no trades, whatever. I'm going to say the Yankees will win that just because of the bullpen, just because of Miller, Betances, and Chapman. That's the only reason. Because as the Royals have proved, and other teams in the past have proved, you have that, you extend that bullpen and make that bullpen your prime force in the playoffs. All you need your starters to do is get you through 6. Just get you through 6 with the lead, or down by a run or two. And with the Yankees' offense, at times, that could be devastating for the opponent. That if you allow the Yankees to have a lead going into that 6, 7, 8, 9. those innings, it's going to be over. So I'm going to go, in that case, I would go Yankees. With the Nationals and the Dodgers, I would go the Nationals. Even though the Dodgers would probably have Kershaw, but you don't know if they'd have that set up. But let's just say they would. I think the Nationals, with Bryce Harper and with a Max Scherzer starting that game, I think and the Papelbon at the end of the, even though I don't like Papelbon, him being their closer, I think they have a better shot at shutting down the Dodgers in a one game. So now let's get into my predictions for the American League Championship Series and the National League Championship Series. For the American League Championship Series, the two teams I think it's going to be the Kansas City Royals and the Houston Astros. I would love to sit here and tell you guys the Yankees, I hope, but realistically, I don't think they're built for the long term. I hope they are. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Yankees win it all. But I'm going to go with the Royals and the Astros. And in the National League Championship Series, I'm going with a rematch from last year. I'm going to go the New York Mets and the Chicago Cubs. Now, in my World Series predictions, I'm going to go... Okay, so first off, let's go Royals and Astros. I'll say I'm going Royals in 7. And in Mets-Cubs, I think the Cubs will put up a better fight than they did last year. And I think they actually would get the best of the Mets. So I'm going to go Cubs in 6. Okay? So that sets up my World Series being the Kansas City Royals against the Chicago Cubs. Yes, that would be 3 years in a row the Royals would have made the World Series, but I do not predict them winning a back-to-back title. I am going to predict that the Chicago Cubs will win, and they will win in 6. So there you go. The Chicago Cubs in 6. That's my prediction. And obviously, if the Yankees are in it, I want the Yankees to win. That's my fandom. Being a huge, giant New York Yankee fan, I have season tickets and everything for the Yanks. So I am a huge Yankee fan. So if they're in it, of course, I'm always going to root for them. But if they're not, I got to say the Cubs. They, hidden-wise, offense, pitching, defense, they look like the team to beat. And I think them and the Royals in a World Series could be a very entertaining World Series. And that's it. That's my predictions for the Major League Baseball season of 2016. Yeah, so, that's really it. I want to wrap this one up. I know it's been a very long podcast. We had to get through a lot of stuff here. And I thank you guys for listening. Remember, you could download us for free on SoundCloud. Just look up Everyday Rants. You could download it. Take my beautiful voice with you in your car, or while you're at the gym, or while you're food shopping. Put it on your phone and throw your headphones in and listen to me saying sweet nothings into your ear as you shop or drive or exercise. What's better than that? Right, ladies and gentlemen? Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Again, download us for free on SoundCloud. You could also go over to our YouTube channel. It's Everyday Geek. The podcasts are on there as well. If you want to leave comments, if you want to share it, if you want to tell me that you love it or tell me that I suck and you hate it, whatever. Feel free. Knock yourself out. I don't mind. And you can also find me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Everyday Geek TV. A lot of different stuff going on there as well. And thank you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. Adios.